wake up and realize it.
Hey, how you doing out there? I'm back again. Open Doors is back again with another hot topic. This your boy Chris Harris here at Open Doors, and I'm so grateful that you took the time to check out this podcast, to check out this episode. I know we're going to have an awesome time discussing the topic that I have today. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'm not starting the podcast. I'm not starting the topic until you hit that subscribe button, because we're dropping episodes fast. Come on. We dropping them fast, and we dropping topic after topic, interesting topics, hot topics that I know you want to discuss. So hit that subscribe button so you don't have to check and wonder. It'll come right to you. Don't forget to share this episode to the people that you know, because I know you got some people who want to get in on this conversation. All right, let's get started. I'm tired of talking about the election. I'm tired of talking about P. Diddy. These are things that people have been talking about. I don't want to talk about Lil Durk going to jail. I don't want to talk about none of that stuff. It's so negative. It's so negative and so much controversy. It's so much, we don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about relationships today. All right. And the question I want to talk to you about, I was sitting around hearing people's conversation, doing my own conversation, and a topic came up. Can a man or woman change in a relationship? What do I mean by that? I call this once a dog, always a dog. Have you heard that before? My brothers, have you heard that before? My sisters, have you heard that? People will say, oh, once a dog, always a dog. He's never going to change. She's never going to change. Have you heard that? People will say, oh, he ain't never going to change. Once a dog, always a dog. They'll tell a woman, you can't turn you finish it. I'm not even going to say it. You can't turn a blank into a housewife. We'll say it that way. You've heard that rhetoric, but is that true? Can men change? A man who's a player, he's been known to be a player. He's been known to play the field. You call him a dog. He's been known to be a dog. Can that man change? The woman who's been out there running around, can she change? Let's get into it. But first, let me play this video, and then we're going to discuss this.
They keep saying they'll change, but you're still dealing with the same issues over and over? Here's the truth. Some people just aren't going to change, no matter how much you hope. Here are 3 signs it's not a phase. First, if their words don't match their actions, they promise one thing but do the opposite. Second, they never take accountability, always blaming others or making excuses. Third, you feel drained, like you're constantly walking on eggshells around them. Imagine this. You're pouring your energy into a broken vase, but it never holds. The cracks just keep widening. So here's a question. If nothing changed, could you accept them as they are? Or is it time to move on? Share your thoughts below. And if you're ready for more hard truths, hit subscribe for updates.
All right. You saw that video. Now, with that video clip, we can go a different way with that. We can go different ways with that. We can talk about different scenarios. Can men and women change in marriage? Different things that we can talk about. But I want to highlight just relationships in general. A man who is perceived to be a dog, a man who's perceived to be a player, a woman. And let me ask you this since we're having this conversation. Do you believe that there are double standards when it comes to men and women, when it comes to this? Because when a man is playing the field, when a man is messing with different women, he's considered a player. But what about women? A lot of times, what do they consider a woman? A lot of times, they don't consider a woman a player. If she's messing with different men, a lot of different men, they don't consider a woman that. They consider her something else, something derogatory, right? Do you believe there's double standards there when it comes to gender? But I want to be gender neutral today. And I want to have this conversation because we're just talking about relationships. When it comes to men and women, do you believe that a man or a woman can change? Change from being a player. Do you believe they can change? Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, if you're with a man, women, ladies, my sisters, if you're with a man who you know is a player, you know already his reputation. You know it. It's not like you heard about it. It's a rumor, right? You know it. You know. A lot of times you know, right? If you know that he's a player and you get into that relationship with him and he does what he does, you shouldn't be mad because you knew. You knew. If you jump in the cage with a tiger and he bites you and bites you, you knew. You shouldn't have jumped in the cage with a tiger. Come on, you knew already. Same, go with men. Men, if you know. And a lot of times you know, brothers, you know her reputation. You know what she about, but you jump into it anyway. So when she does what she does, should you be upset about it? Should you be upset because you knew? What was your expectations? What was your expectations? But the question is, can that person change? Or will a dog always be a dog? Will a player always be a player? I believe that a man or a woman can change. All right? A man or woman can change. But here is the thing. Let's jump into it right now. This is number one, right? You can't change them. A lot of times, women think they can change a man. There are men who think they can change a woman. I believe, number one, a man or a woman can change, but you can't change them. Don't think that you can change a man, ladies. My brothers, don't think that you can change. You're not going to change them. You're not. I don't know how many times I can say it. You are not going to change them. You're not going to change them. They have to want to change themselves. God can change them. All right? There are two in this equation that work together for change, in my opinion. You can't change them. God can step in the scene and change that person. But God made us with a will. So we have to want to be changed. And to the point, until we get to the point where we want to change, or where that person wants to change, won't be any change happening. Won't be any change happening. You know, I was thinking about this topic as I was preparing for this episode, because the question came to me, and sometimes I just sit and I think about things like this, and I meditate on it, and I go over it in my head. What makes a person become a player? Let's talk about that for a second. And it could be different things that make a person become a player. But I was just thinking, a lot of times I believe, based on my own experiences and based on, things that I know, I believe that a person becomes like that because they got hurt before. A lot of time I believe people become players. They begin to play the field, if you want to use that language, because they're hedging their emotions. Because a lot of time, because they got hurt before, and men, sometimes we get hurt too. Men get hurt too, but we may deal with it in different ways than women. But we get hurt. We got emotions. Men have emotions, so we may get hurt. We may put our feelings out there in a relationship, and we get hurt. So you don't want to feel that way, because that hurts. That hurts. You don't want to feel that way. So the next time around, you start to hedge your emotions, right? So you say, look, I'm gonna play the field. I'm gonna be this way, so if it happens again, because we always have that in the back of our mind, it can happen again. If it happens again, then I don't want to be so emotionally involved as a man with this woman, or as a woman with this man, that I get hurt like I did before. But I believe that it starts from past experiences, in my opinion. You might have a different opinion. I want to hear your opinion. You might have a different opinion. I believe it starts from a past experience. You got hurt before. Someone hurt you before. So now you're like, I'm a hedge my emotions. So if it happens again, I won't be that involved where I'll feel that way again. So I believe that's one of the reasons. Now, another thing, it can be just, the way you talk. Hey, sometimes you can be taught, our society, I was thinking about it, like the rap music, a lot of the people listen to, the different hip hop and stuff, they promote that type of lifestyle. They promote it. They promote it. You listen to different rappers, you listen to them jumping from women to women. That's the society or the culture in a way that we pick up on growing up, and it's promoted. It's promoted. So that can be another reason, but there could be different reasons why. But I was just thinking about that as I was preparing for this topic, because what makes a person become, that person who plays the field or acts a certain way? And I believe it can be past experiences, but it all can be something that you pick up. It's something that you learn. Maybe daddy was a Rolling Stone. As they say, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Remember that song? It can be something that you learn because your first education is at home. Big brother was that way. Uncles were that way. And you learned that from them. This is how the way we should operate. This is how the way we should roll. As a woman, maybe the same thing. This is how, hey, your mama now. Mama might be saved now, but mama may not have been that way before. So it's something that, not talking about your mama, but I'm just saying that we all, hey, So it's something that you could have learned. It happened. You became that way for some reason. I don't think you just woke up that way. I don't think we just woke up that way. There are things that happen along the journey, along the way. But they have to want to change. Because if you go into a relationship thinking you can change him from being a dog or a player, you in for a rude awakening, because you can't change him. He has to want to change. But I believe God steps in the scene. I believe that. I believe God steps in the scene. And a lot of times a man or woman will change because of God. God will knock on their heart, and God will pull at the strings of their heart and say, you need to change. And why do you need to change? Because something good is about to happen. God is bringing something good and you don't want to miss out. But you have a will. Again, you have a will. So there are a lot of men, I believe, and a lot of women, you miss out on what God was bringing you because you didn't change. You didn't change. I've seen it. You might miss out because you have a will. God made us with a will. So God will put it out there. You need to change your ways. And the reason you need to change your way, because I got something good that's coming to you. I got something that's going to be a blessing to you. For a woman, I got the man that you need is coming. For a man, I got the woman that you need is coming. And God will start convicting you. God will start, like I said, pulling on the strings of your heart. But you have to submit to that. You, like I said, we have a will. So your will has to align with God's will in order to make that transition happen. And I believe that's what happens a lot of time when people do change. Because think about it. Let's talk. A man is not really a dog. I know we use that, analogy or whatever, that description, but a man is not a dog. He's a human being. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a mentality, right? We're talking about a mindset that a man or a woman has. And mentalities and mindsets change. They change. People used to act crazy. Now you see, oh man, you don't act crazy no more. You matured. Why? Because their mindset, their mentality changed. That maturation happened. That maturity happened. And it happens in the behavior relationships. He was out there. She was out there. But all of a sudden they changed, because I believe God comes into the picture to get you prepared for what he has in store for you. But when you buck at God, and like it happens, people buck at God, they don't want to change, then you miss out on something beautiful. So yes, I believe that men, women change when they're ready and when they want to change. So it can happen. It can happen. Now, here is the thing though. They can change. So if you're dating that player now, he can change. If you're dating that woman now she can change. But here is the thing though. You have to listen to this right here. Here is the thing. Their change may not be for you. For real, their change may not be for you because maybe they weren't the one who God had for you. I was talking to a friend of mine we met up at a wedding, and she was catching up with her. And I know she had been in a couple of relationships, and she was telling me something. She was telling me that, you know what? I'm just waiting on God to bring the right man for me because I can't do it on my own. That was truth right there. That was wisdom. You can't. A faithful man, a faithful woman, who can find? Only God can find that person. She said, I'm leaning towards God. But this is what she said that I want to highlight. She said that, you know what? It seems like I get these men, they change when they're with me, but then they go on to marry somebody else. She said, though, I prepare them in a way for their wives. And that may be true. I believe that may be true. The person can change, but his change may not be for you. I believe in life, we plant seeds in people. So don't think that you didn't get anything out of the ordeal. I believe that we plant seeds in people. That man that you were trying to get to change, ladies, you planted seeds in him. That woman, brothers, that you were trying to get to change, you planted seeds in her. God used you to plant seeds in that person, I believe, for that season. God brings people in our life for seasons. For moments of our life, for chapters in our life. The problem we get into, let me go there, not to really deviate, but let me go there. A lot of times we get stuck in one chapter that we don't want to close, and we can't move forward to the next chapter. Our life is a story, and God is the author of that story. You heard the Bible was it say he's the author and the finisher of our faith. He's an author. He's writing our story. But the problem we have in relationships, we can't allow God to move us to the next chapter because we're still stuck in the last chapter. You have to close that chapter. It's been fulfilled. What's done is done. Stop hanging on to a relationship that's dead. You have to move on to the next chapter because in the next chapter, that's when the blessing is there. But if you're stuck in this chapter, we can never get to the next chapter, and you may miss your blessing. So that person that's there who's acting crazy, yeah, he's going to change. He can change. God can do it, but it may not be for you. It may not be for you, but God put you got connected together because you sharpened him. You sharpened her. You planted seeds in her. There was something that you imparted in them, and that was the assignment. I believe a lot of times that's the assignment. It's not for you all to get married. He wasn't the husband for you. She wasn't the wife for you, but there was something you have to impart in her. There was something you have to impart in him. There was a seed you need to plant in that person. You did it. Close the chapter. Because sometimes we be like, man, he changed now with this other woman. That's what a lot of ladies be saying. She changed now. Oh, now she's wife material now that she's with this man. Yeah, because she wasn't the one for you. But God has someone for you. So don't get mad. Don't get angry. They will change. It just may not be for you because that wasn't the assignment. The assignment, though, was for you to plant a seed, to sharpen them, to impart for them. So don't think that your experience with them was in vain, is what I'm saying. It wasn't. You had an assignment. Now that chapter is closed. Prepare. Get out of that chapter. Go to the next chapter. Go to the next chapter because one of those chapters, God has somebody for you. But you have to close the other chapters now and go on to the next chapter and let him write that chapter for you. So they will change. They will change. God can do it, but they have to want to change. So when you look at someone's past, we all have a past. I have a past. You have a past. So don't hold somebody's past against them. What we say is under the blood, right? What I did before, hey, we all have some of our past. If you knew it, you may run. It's under the blood, though, because God, he takes something dirty. He takes our past that's dirty. He takes us in our dirt and he makes us into something beautiful. That's the power of the Lord. Give him a hand clap if you're watching this episode, because that's what God would take our dirt, our filth, our past, and he would turn us into something beautiful. So we all have a past. You have a past. I have a past. So how can we judge somebody else for having a past? It's just that. It's past. It's a closed chapter. But in this next chapter that God is writing, oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So people may have a past. She may have been out there before. She may have been messing around with different men in the past. He may have been messing around with different women in the past. But the question you have to discern, have they changed? If they change, yeah, they may have a past, but if God has worked in their life, it's okay. That's their past. That's their testimony. That's their testimony to what God has done in their life. So yes, they can change. So if you're waiting with someone, if you're with a man right now, ladies, and he's caused you a lot of problems, you have to make a decision. Can you wait for the change? Because he can change, but he has to want to change. He has to want to change. So you need to pray to God and say, God, is this the man for me? Or do I need to close this chapter? Ladies, brother, same thing. Brother, same thing. If a lady, she's giving you a lot of problems, you're still with her, you're sticking with her, you have to discern. You have to call on God and say, God, am I wasting my time, or should I close that chapter? But I believe they will change, but their change may not be for you because their assignment is not for you. It was a seasonal thing. It was a chapter. Close it and move on. But let God lead you in that. So yes, that's all I have for you today. That topic, can men and women change? You look at their past, you say, oh man, he's a dog. He was always a dog. He may have been a dog, but he can change. If he's ready for change, if he allows God to do it, he can change. A lady out there, she has a past, or she's acting crazy now. She can change, but are you willing to wait for them to change? Because you don't know when they're going to change. Are you willing to wait that long? Because it takes them being ready to change, and it takes God to do the changing. But like I said, the change may not be for you. So you have to come to grips to that. I'm in this relationship 3 to 5 years. Where is it going? We haven't got married yet. Where is it going? You have to begin to ask those questions. You have to begin to go to God and say, God, what am I doing in this relationship? He got me so frustrated. I'm checking his phone every time he come in. I'm smelling him to see if he got any perfume on. I'm going through his clothes, his pockets. I'm doing these things. He's making me crazy. If you're a woman, you're probably saying that. You have to begin to then come to the realization, this may not be the relationship for you. Let me go to God and say, God, am I wasting my time? Because yeah, men can change, but his change may not be for me. Is this a chapter that I need to close? So I can get to the next chapter. Because in the next chapter, my king is there if you're a lady. The next chapter, my queen is there if I'm a man. But I have to close a chapter first to move to the next chapter. I can't start writing this chapter, or the Lord cannot start writing this chapter until you close that chapter you're in. That's all I have today. Let me know what you think about this topic. Let's have a discussion. I'm tired of talking about P. Diddy. I'm tired of talking about, the election is over with. I don't want to talk about Lil Durk and going to jail. I don't want to talk about some of this other foolishness out there. Let's just talk. Let's just talk about relationships. Let's talk about something interesting. Let's talk about that. Men and women, can they change? Or will a dog always be a dog? Or can you never turn a blank into a housewife? Talk to me, brothers and sisters. Talk to me. I'm out of here. Share what you have to say in the comments section. Don't forget to share this podcast to the people that you know. Before I get out of here, let me give a shout out to the Dream Team, Blessed Dreams Production, my boy Alfred, and Eyes Have Not Seen, my sister Marilyn. And to the next time another episode drops here at Open Doors, be blessed. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Don't ever take nothing for granted, man. Hey, you gotta wake up and realize that.